Now, most of you by now already know that NIO is not only a company or an EV company that is selling cars in China, but it is also an EV company which is currently selling one of their models in Norway. Now, Norway is the first destination outside of China where NIO started selling their cars, and I think the exporting of those models took place around July, and of course in August or somewhere in August we saw those models arriving in, of course, Norway, and NIO started with the deliveries of the ES8 model around end of September, beginning of October. I can't remember the exact date, but ladies and gents, just yesterday we saw another nice pictures of NIO exports, and now this time they were exporting their ET7 model. Now you remember that NIO, by the end of this year, they plan to have penetrated 4 more new European countries, and they are using the ET7 to penetrate those 4 new European countries. Now you remember that back in 2021 when NIO was penetrating Norway with the ES8, we saw, of course, NIO exporting the ES8 model around July, which of course they arrived in Norway around September, which of course is something that we can use also on the ET7 that we saw yesterday being exported or entering the ship, preparing to be exported in Europe, and say that chances are we can see the exact probably scenario of those models arriving in NIO and in Europe probably in the next within the next 2 months, which meaning that we can expect those vehicles to arrive in their destination around obviously October, which is something that must just show you that indeed NIO is really preparing to penetrate the 4 new European countries with the ET7. Now you remember that the ET7 is one of the models in NIO which is not only liked in China, but it is one of the sedans that are liked or that is liked outside of China. And I personally believe that this is one of the models that will sell very good, because before the ET5, you'll remember that the NIO ET7 had most pre-orders when comparing to all the other previous models during that time which the ET7 was revealed or unveiled by NIO. So now we all know that of course the ET5 is the one with the most pre-orders on all the NIO's existing models, but this still must just show you that the ET7 is one of the vehicles that will do very well in sales, not just only in China but outside of China. I mean, there's no denial, and there's no one that can deny that this car is really beautiful. The beauty in this car, it's just out of this world, which is why not only will people just like buying the fact that it's an EV car, but they will be also buying the beauty and the technology that is found in this car. Now NIO, ladies and gents, like I said, it is a company that is doing really good, and it's a company that is just set to do very well. And obviously, like I said, stock wise, you know that this is a company that has not been doing that well in terms of the share price, and one of the main things that is of course suppressing this stock is the delisting fears, which of course that cloud is still amongst almost all Chinese stocks, but I think in due time this cloud will fade away, and we are going to see companies like NIO going and claiming their actual price or their actual real price, or the price that they are supposed to be trading at, especially looking at the company's current fundamentals and future prospects. Now, one of the good signs that I personally believe that retail investors should take to say that probably chances are very high that we might see the Chinese stock continuing listing the New York Stock Exchange is the fact that big money, big financial institutions will continue loading the boat, investing onto this Chinese stock, which is one of the things that has to be taken as a very good sign that they foresee or they believe that these companies or Chinese companies, including NIO, will continue listed in the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, recently we read that JP Morgan, of course, disclosed owning about 5.6 million NIO shares, which are worth $122 million. I mean, if they knew that NIO is going to be delisted, or if they see more chances of NIO being delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, how is it that they can then throw in $122 million into NIO? there's no valid reason they can do that. So this is one of the signs that I personally take to say that these Chinese stocks are going to continue listed in the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, same with Bridgewater Associate, and this is Ray Dalio's company. They added over 200,000 NIO shares in the second, or by the end of the second quarter, which is something that is incredible, because right now their holdings, or their total NIO holdings as it stands, it's around $120 million, or it's worth around $120 million, which is something that must just show you that, again, these big institutions, they really believe and they foresee, of course, NIO being one of that company that will disrupt the entire EV industry, and which is why they continue loading the boat, they continue increasing the boat onto this NIO stock. There are so many companies or institutions that remain bullish, continue loading the boat onto this NIO stock, and that, my friend, it is one of the first signs that must just show you that if they knew that NIO was going to be delisted, would they be putting a lot of this money? I don't think they would. Would they be investing such an amount of money onto this NIO stock? I don't think they would. So why are you hesitant to do the same if big guns, big financial institutions are doing this? So this is one of the things that continues motivating me to do the same, because you need to follow what the big money is doing. You need to follow what these big investors are doing in terms of investing onto these Chinese stocks, including NIO. And of course, you know that this is just my opinions. I'm not saying do this. Of course, it is still your responsibility to know what you're doing with your money, but all I'm saying is that this, to me, is a good sign that, of course, companies like NIO are going to remain listed in the New York Stock Exchange, and only time will tell as to when are we going to get that announcement from both Chinese regulators, US regulators, confirming that. And that day, when it comes, we are going to see companies like NIO shooting, going up by over 20-30% in one day, and trust me, that day will come. Now, NIO is a company that I continue to remain bullish on, because its fundamentals, its future prospects are just so massive. I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that NIO will do very well in the future. I mean, just a few weeks ago we were discussing about the NIO phone, which is chances are high that it's going to be unveiled or revealed in 2023, and therefore will be communicating with their cars, which is something that must just show you that NIO is in this EV industry to dominate, and this is exactly, or that's exactly what we are going to see in the future. Otherwise, I just thought I should just give you this quick update about what we just witnessed of the NIO ET7 cars being important into Europe. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click the notification bell so that at least you can be notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you load the boat, increase your holdings onto the NIO stock, please make sure that you do your own DD so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing onto this NIO stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.